Welcome to RemoteSpark 204, Module 3. I'm Paul Archer, Director of Security at RemoteSpark, and today we'll be discussing security. So we'll look at encryption, the ports that are needed to make RemoteSpark work, where the information is actually stored, recordings. We'll discuss the differences between peer-to-peer versus relay, and finally we'll finish it up with user authentication. We're often asked if RemoteSpark is encrypted. The short answer is yes, it is. It's encrypted both at rest and while being transmitted. At rest, we use AES-256 to encrypt the actual database where data is stored, and while the bits are moving on the wire, we're using TLS 1.2. There are a number of different firewall ports that do need to be open for RemoteSpark to work. The first is port 443 using the TCP protocol so that you can actually hit the server endpoint. And secondly, to be able to hit the communication servers, you need to have port 3478 using both UDP and TCP open. RemoteSpark uses cloud storage. The main location is actually located in the US. Data is actually geo-replicated across all the Asia data centers that we do use, so it can be available worldwide on demand. And regardless of the data center the user is actually using, the data will ultimately reside on the main storage located in the US. For security purposes, RemoteSpark does not feature a video recording option. It also doesn't allow us to record video streams for later recall. Anything that's uploaded in RemoteSpark can be deleted by the end users themselves using the browser-based dashboard if they would like to have it removed from cloud storage. When a RemoteSpark call is initiated, it can either be done peer-to-peer or through a relay. RemoteSpark can't be configured to use either one of them specifically. It all determined by the configuration when a call is initiated and on the user's parameters. When it is a PMP call, no part of the audio-video communication passes through RemoteSpark server. It's all from HoloLens directly to the PC. When the calls are relayed through RemoteSpark servers, the calls are encrypted using keys, and that way RemoteSpark has no access to any of the audio-video communications, and no data is actually stored on the servers. Finally, user authentication. We do support two different types of authentication. We can either use Microsoft accounts or RemoteSpark accounts. Microsoft accounts is the preferred method to actually have an account on RemoteSpark because that lets you have all of the features of Azure Active Directory or Office 365. It lets you manage them. It lets you set up multi-factor authentication. It also lets you use passwordless login. So it's a much more robust system. If you do choose to use RemoteSpark accounts, just be aware that there is no multi-factor authentication and you cannot use passwordless. And we usually say that RemoteSpark accounts are usually just for small deployments or for an organization that doesn't use Microsoft to manage their users' email. In review, we covered encryption, the different firewall ports for RemoteSpark, storage, recordings, peer-to-peer calls, and lastly, user authentication. Thanks for watching, and good luck on the quiz. In review, we covered encryption, the different firewall ports for RemoteSpark, storage, recordings, peer-to-peer calls, and lastly, user authentication. Thanks for watching, and good luck on the quiz.